Hi everybody and welcome to my video today. I'm so glad you stopped by to hang out with me. Today I'm participating in a team blog hop. You can find all the information at my coordinating blog post by clicking up in the left-hand corner of the video, or you can click down below in the YouTube description and that will take you to my website where you will see all the other links to everyone else who's participating in this blog hop. It is inspired by the holiday catalog and all of that new product, and so you're going to find a lot of inspiration when you hop along with us. I originally taped this video for you guys and it was meant to go up last Thursday, and then we got sick in our household and I kind of fell behind. So don't mind if in my video I refer to tomorrow as being Friday. I'm just a little bit late posting this video. I really hope you guys enjoy this fall inspired card where I will be doing some gold embossing. So let's just jump in and get started with this card. Today we're going to be making a card, and it's actually a little bit of a throwback. I made a card last fall around this time, and it was a fall inspired card, and it was actually inspired by some fall coffee mugs that I had purchased. So right here I'm going to insert a photo of that card and of the coffee mugs. So that is the card that I had made inspired by those mugs, and at the time when I made those, we didn't actually have a stamp set that I thought would work really well for that card. I just kind of used some retired product and tried to make it work because I really wanted to make that card. When we got this stamp set, I knew that I immediately thought of that card that I had made and knew that this stamp set would be so perfect for that card. So I'm actually going to recreate that card and show you what I've done, and it's a little bit different, but it is inspired by that whole coffee mug and card that I did last year. And I'll link the video actually right up here in the card. I'll link the video so you guys can check out that what I had done. So this stamp set is Lighthearted Leaves. It's in the holiday catalog, and you can actually now purchase that now that the holiday catalog has gone live. And I really love this set. I've used this set a ton, and I'm actually using it also in my club project. So I have a stamp club, and every month we do different projects, and this is actually something that we're using, and I'm going to be sharing some different techniques on how to use this. And I just wanted to show you how the club project is coming this month. This is all of it this month. We're working with some of the baker boxes that are really fun. It comes with 2 baker boxes this month that we're going to decorate and do some fun stuff with. And then I'm including a piece of grid paper. And then this month, they're actually getting quite a few items. In their package for Stamp Club, they're getting watercolor paper and vellum because we're going to be doing a fun technique with this stamp set on watercolor. And then we're also going to be doing a fun technique on vellum. So they get that to try out. And then they get this little package of goodies. It's right in here. It has a Christmas card in it, and then it has some other items. It has some black glimmer paper. It has some of our vellum from our holiday catalog, and then it has some Christmas paper from our holiday catalog. And that's their little goodie treat from me, and so that's what they're getting. If you're interested in Stamp Club, all you have to do is place a $35 order with me at the beginning of the month, and I always have a hostess code, and just by placing that order, you get to be a part of the club. If you're interested in that, all you need to do is email me. It's really simple. It's basically like being a preferred customer. So you get extra treatment. You know, it's just fun to be a part of this little group that do the club, and we have a Facebook group, and I send out goodies, and it's just like being one of my preferred customers. So let's go ahead and get started with this card that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using this image. I'm going to be doing a ton of embossing and a ton of coloring and inking. We're going to be using Garden Green, Hello Honey, and Cajun Craze for our inking portion. So I am working with very vanilla cardstock. That is what I did last year. That's the color I used. Grab a piece of grid paper because I don't want to get my surface all nasty with ink. That won't come off. So let's grab this grid paper. I'm going to show you the coloring with the ink. So we're going to use a piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm just opening all of my inks, and then I'm using a sponge. Now I'm just using one sponge. These sponges, they come in a circle, and I cut them into quarters, and they go farther. So one, I'm going to use green, and then I have Cajun Craze and yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all three of these colors onto this piece. So we'll start with, let's see, this is Garden Green. Is that what this is? Yes. So we'll start with Garden Green. I'm just dipping that in the ink, and then what I'm going to do is just back and forth. So it kind of gives this really, it's not really texture, but it's because it's going back and forth, so it's creating some of the lines. What's that called? Not texture, but pattern. That's what I'm thinking of. So I think that will be enough space. Yes. So now the next color I'm going to do is, I'll go ahead and do Cajun Craze. Okay, so now I've just created what I'm going to stamp on. And actually, that would be a really cool card. You could really do something cool with this. Trim it down and put it on the front of a card. We're going to do some stamping and then some embossing. So I have my Versamark here, and then I want to stamp this 3 times. The first thing I want to do is, because this is I just put all that ink on that, it's going to be wet. So what I want to do is just take my powder tool. I recently changed out all my embossing powders to these little containers, and I'm really loving the way that they work now, and I'm feeling like I want to emboss more because it's easier to get all the embossing out, and I just feel like I can manage it better. So I'm just stamping these over each color because I want one of each color, and I did that in Versamark. And then I'm taking some gold embossing powder, and we're going to cover all these leaves in gold embossing powder. Now you can see that the embossing powder stuck everywhere. Using the powder tool, it's going to help release that, but it did stick everywhere. So what I want to do is I'm just going to turn this over, and I'm going to tap it. And that's going to take a lot of it off all the other places. So then what you can do is just come in with a paintbrush, and it's not going to matter because we're going to die cut this. We're going to use the framelits. Alright, so now that these are embossed and cut out, you can see how beautiful they are. And the more ink that you add to the paper when you're sponging, the darker they'll be. And you could even add, less ink on the bottom and then darker on the top. You could do some really cool techniques when inking the ink onto the paper. But that's the leaves. And so now I have a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. It's cut at 4 this way and then 5 1/4 this way because we're going to layer it onto a card base. So right now what we're going to do are a couple things. We're going to do some more embossing. So now I have the sentiment from this stamp set, and either one of these would work, but I wanted to use this thanks. I was actually thinking about doing this for my Thanksgiving cards, but I don't know, it's a lot of embossing, so I don't know, we'll have. Okay, so so here's it heat embossed, and you can see how beautiful is that. So now we're gonna do something really fun that I love doing. I did this on a wedding card recently. I'm taking my Versamark ink pad and I am just dabbing the edges. I'm sorry, my camera's kind of freaking out a little bit because it's trying to focus, but that's okay, you get the idea. I'll try to go slower so it doesn't freak out. So I'm just tapping it onto the edges. I'm kind of running my paper through that ink pad. I do 3 sides at once. Okay, so we're all done with the embossing powder. I'm just gonna cover that up. Okay, so you can see it's all around the edges. And Christina Warner just did this on Wednesday, maybe yesterday, on a card, and that was fun seeing her do it. I did it on a card I did for a friend for a wedding, and I shared that card on Instagram last week. So now we have one other thing we're going to do. I have a piece of acetate here. It's just this clear piece of acetate that I'm going to use. And then I have a retired product, and this is from last year's catalog. It's a gold ink pad. And so what I'm going to do is I'm smashing this down onto this piece of clear plastic. I'm getting a lot of that on there. And then I'm taking another retired product. This is this smooch spray that is in gold. And we used to have this in our catalog. When it went on the clearance rack, I stocked up on it. I got quite a few of them. So what I'm going to do is spray this gold into here quite a few times. That should be enough. And then we're going to take a paintbrush and we're going to mix this all around. Okay, so now that we have that mixed and we have a good amount of it, we're just picking it up on the paintbrush, and then I'm going to put some splats down. You can do that however you want, as many as you want, as big as you want. The more you pick up over here, the bigger they're going to be. I don't know how Christina does it off the edge. I'm not sure. It does not work for me when I try to do it. If you want more, you can spray a little bit more of this. It would just work with water too if you sprayed that ink pad with water. I just really wanted to make sure I was getting it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my heat tool and go ahead and dry this again. Clean up, because I couldn't take the mess in my space, my workspace. So I'm adding dimensionals. I'll speed this part up or cut this part out so you don't have to watch me do this part. But I am going to add 3 to each of these leaves. my card came out. I'm pretty happy with it. I was thinking that it might need some sequins after watching Christina Warner's video on her fall card that she did and how she added the sequins over it. I was thinking that it could use some sequins, like that might be really pretty. Okay guys, that's what I came up with, which actually I really like it. I think the sequence, the darker sequence, kind of pulls in this early espresso color. I'm sorry guys, my voice is a little bit messed up. I'm dealing with some allergies and not getting a lot of sleep, so I'm sorry about that. I feel like this video has been a little bit crazy and I've not really been with it. My mind is not all here today, but this is what I came up with. There'll be a photo over on my coordinating blog post. You can get to that by either clicking right up here or clicking down in the description, and it'll take you over to a supply list and a photo, so you can pin this to Pinterest and save it for later. I love how it came out, and I don't know if I'll do it for my Thanksgiving cards. It's a little bit of work. It was quite a bit of work actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with a Memory Keeping Friday. And thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. Well, I won't really be back tomorrow with a Memory Keeping Friday because tomorrow is Wednesday, but that's okay. I would really encourage you guys to head over to my website and check out all of the other wonderful team members of mine that are participating in this blog hop and sharing holiday catalog inspiration. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll be back on Thursday. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.